Did you know there's a fertilizer that the world's most successful growers call black gold for their soil? We're not talking about an expensive chemical product or some trendy new supplement. We're talking about worm castings. One of the most complete, most ancient, and most powerful organic fertilizers on the planet. In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know. What worm castings are, how they work, how to make them yourself at home from scratch, how to apply them properly, and in what quantities. So stick around until the end, because there's information here that most people never tell you about. Welcome to Genetics Growers. If you're new here, we are really glad you found us. This channel is all about helping you grow better. We share complete guides, cultivation techniques, plant genetics, pest control, and so much more. We really hope you enjoy this video and find it useful. And if you haven't visited our blog yet, make sure you check it out. We've got articles on genetics, step-by-step growing guides, pest control, industry trends, and a whole lot more. The link is right there in the description. All right, let's get into it. What are worm castings? Before we talk about how to use them or how to make them yourself, let's make sure we understand exactly what worm castings are. Simply put, worm castings are the byproduct of a worm's digestive process. When worms consume organic matter, food scraps, leaves, manure, they break it down inside their bodies and excrete it as small, dark brown granules. That material is what we call worm castings, or vermicompost. It's 100% natural, no chemicals, no additives, and it's packed with bioavailable nutrients, meaning nutrients that plants can absorb directly and efficiently. Unlike traditional compost, which can take months to fully break down, worm castings have already been processed twice. First by soil microorganisms, and then by the worms themselves. That makes them far more stable, far more potent, and much easier for plants to absorb. Benefits of worm castings. So now we know what they are. But why does everyone rave about them? Let's go through the 6 biggest benefits. Benefit 1. Complete nutrition. Worm castings contain nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and a wide range of micronutrients. This isn't a one-trick fertilizer. It covers a broad nutritional spectrum, comparable to many synthetic fertilizers, but entirely natural. Benefit 2. Packed with microbial life. A single spoonful of worm castings can contain millions of beneficial microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, actinomycetes. These are the lifeblood of healthy soil. They improve nutrient availability and help protect plants against certain pathogens. Benefit 3. Improves soil structure. Worm castings help clay soils drain better and sandy soils hold more moisture. They work in almost any type of soil, acting as a universal soil conditioner. Benefit 4. Regulates soil pH. Worm castings have a near-neutral pH, typically between 6.8 and 7.2, making them an excellent natural pH regulator. Perfect for correcting overly acidic or alkaline soils without any chemicals. Benefit 5. Won't burn roots. Many chemical fertilizers, when over-applied, create salt buildup that burns roots. Worm castings, being fully organic and stabilized, carry no such risk. They're safe even if you apply slightly more than recommended. Benefit 6. Biostimulant effect. Studies show that worm castings significantly stimulate root growth. Roots develop faster and stronger, which translates into more vigorous plants that are more resistant to drought stress and produce more flowers and fruit. Types of worm castings. Whether you make your own worm castings at home or buy them, you'll come across 2 main forms. It's important to understand the difference between both. Solid castings. Vermicompost. This is the classic presentation and the main product of vermicomposting. It comes in granule or dark soil form. You mix it directly into your growing medium or apply it as a top dressing. It has a soft, fine texture, almost like forest floor soil, and a characteristic earthy smell that's never unpleasant. If you're making your own at home, this is the material you'll see accumulating at the bottom of your worm bin after 2 to 3 months. Liquid castings, worm leachate or worm tea. This is the liquid that filters through the vermicomposting process. It's incredibly rich in microorganisms and soluble nutrients. You apply it during watering or as a foliar spray. If you have a worm bin at home, this leachate collects naturally in the bottom tray, and you can use it straight away. Which one to use or produce? Both are complementary. Solid castings go in the growing medium. Liquid goes in the irrigation or as a foliar spray. If you make your own at home, you'll naturally get both. Solid castings from the worm bin and liquid from the drainage tray. That's a huge advantage over buying them. How to make your own worm castings at home. Up until now, we've been talking about worm castings as something you buy. But what if I told you that you can produce them yourself at home with very little space, a small upfront investment, and in a completely sustainable way? Yes, it's absolutely possible. This process is called vermicomposting, and today I'm going to walk you through it step by step from scratch. What you need. Before we start, let's go over what you'll need to set up your worm bin. An opaque container with a lid. Plastic, wood, or similar, with ventilation holes and a drainage system at the base. Red wiggler worms, Eisenia fetida, the ideal species for vermicomposting. You can find them at garden centers or online. Organic matter, kitchen scraps, dry leaves, damp cardboard. A cool spot with temperatures between 55 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 to 25 Celsius, away from direct sunlight. Patience. Your first batch of castings will be ready in 2 to 3 months. Step 1. Set up the worm bin. You need an opaque container. It can be plastic, wood, or even an old cooler. The key things: a lid to maintain moisture and darkness, small ventilation holes on the sides and top, and a drainage system at the base. That liquid that drains out is your worm leachate. Don't throw it away. It's liquid gold, too. Step 2. Prepare the bedding. Before adding the worms, you need to give them a comfortable home. Use a mix of damp shredded cardboard, dry leaves, and a little soil or compost. The bedding should feel like a wrung-out sponge. If you squeeze a handful and water pours out, it's too wet. If nothing comes out at all, it needs more moisture. Aim for a bedding layer of about 4 to 6 inches deep. Step 3. Add the worms. The species you want is the red wiggler worm, or Eisenia fetida. It's the most widely used species in vermicomposting worldwide because it thrives in controlled environments, reproduces quickly, and processes organic matter very efficiently. To get started, 1 to 2 pounds of worms is plenty. Place them on top of the bedding, put the lid on, and let them settle in for 2 to 3 days before you start feeding them. Step 4. Feed them properly. Worms eat organic scraps, but not just anything goes. Add food in thin layers on top of the bedding and bury it slightly to avoid bad smells and fruit flies. Don't overfeed them. Worms take several days to process each batch. Less food more often is always better than a big dump all at once. They can eat fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds and filters, crushed eggshells, plain cardboard and paper, dry leaves, bread, unsalted, tea bags. Always avoid meat, fish, or dairy, citrus in excess, onions and garlic in large amounts, salty foods, plastics, oils and fats, carnivore pet waste. Step 5. Regular maintenance. Check your bin every 2 to 3 days. Monitor moisture levels. Make sure there are no strong smells. If there are, you're likely overfeeding or underventilating, and collect the leachate from the bottom tray. That liquid is already ready to dilute and use on your plants. Step 6. Harvest the solid castings. When the bottom of the bin looks almost entirely like dark granulated castings with very little unprocessed material, it's time to harvest. The easiest method: push all the material to one side of the bin and start feeding only the empty side. In a few weeks, the worms will migrate on their own toward the food. The side with no worms is pure finished castings, ready to use. A number that might surprise you. A medium-sized worm bin can produce between 10 and 20 pounds of castings per month. That's enough to keep a family garden or several large pots fed all year long, completely free and using scraps you'd otherwise throw away. And if you live in an apartment, don't worry. A well-maintained worm bin produces no smell, no noise, and fits perfectly on a balcony, a patio, or even inside your home. How to apply worm castings. Now that you know how to produce your own worm castings, let's talk about how to actually use them. Whether you made them yourself or picked them up at a garden store, the application methods are exactly the same. Method 1. Mix into your growing medium. The most common approach. Blend castings into your soil or substrate when setting up a new pot or bed. Mix them in thoroughly so the nutrients are evenly distributed. Your plant will have access to those nutrients from day 1. Method 2. Top dressing. Especially useful for established plants. Spread a layer of solid castings on the surface of your growing medium, around the base of the plant. With each watering, the nutrients slowly filter down to the roots. It also helps retain moisture and reduces surface crusting. Method 3. Planting holes. For trees, shrubs, or larger plants, place a layer of castings at the bottom of the planting hole before you put the plant in. As roots grow downward, they'll find the castings and gradually absorb the nutrients. Method 4. Liquid castings in irrigation. Dilute the leachate from your worm bin or store-bought liquid castings in water, typically a 5 to 10% concentration, and apply it directly to the root zone during your regular watering. It's a fast way to feed plants and reactivate the soil's microbial life. Method 5. Foliar spray. With the liquid castings diluted even further, 2 to 3%, you can spray directly onto the leaves. Plants absorb the nutrients through the stomata on their leaves. Useful during stress periods, after pest or disease damage, or whenever you want to give a fast boost. Always apply during low sunlight hours, early morning or late afternoon. Recommended doses. One of the questions I get asked most often is, how much should I use? Here are the general guidelines that work for most growing situations, whether you're using your own homemade castings or a commercial product. Common mistakes. All right, now you know what worm castings are, how to make them, and how to apply them. Before we wrap up, let's go through the most common mistakes so you don't have to learn them the hard way. Mistake 1. Buying without checking quality. Not everything labeled as worm castings is the same. There are low-quality products with barely any active microorganisms, or ones cut with filler soil. Always look for trusted suppliers who offer lab analysis or have a solid reputation. Good worm castings are a uniform dark brown, smell like fresh earth, and have a fine granular texture. Mistake 2. Using it as the only substrate. Worm castings are a fertilizer, not a complete growing medium. Never fill a pot with castings alone. Always blend them with cocoa coir, perlite, soil, or other components. Mistake 3. Overfeeding the worm bin. If you're producing at home, one of the most common mistakes is overfeeding the worms. If you add more food than they can process, you get fermentation, bad smells, and fruit fly problems. Feed a little at a time, and always wait until the previous batch is mostly gone. Mistake 4. Poor storage. Live worm castings contain microorganisms. If stored in extreme temperatures, too dry or too wet, those microorganisms die and the product loses much of its value. Store in a cool, slightly moist, well-ventilated spot. Mistake 5. Only using it at the start. Worm castings work gradually, and their benefits compound with regular application. Don't just use them at planting time. Incorporate them into your regular maintenance routine throughout the grow cycle for consistent, lasting results. Mistake 6. Letting the worm bin dry out. If you're producing at home, lack of moisture is the #1 worm killer. The bedding must always feel like a wrung-out sponge. In hot or dry climates, you may need to mist the bin every couple of days. A dry worm bin is a dead worm bin. And that brings us to the end of this complete guide on worm castings. I really hope this video gave you everything you needed. Understanding what they are, why they're so powerful, how to make them yourself at home from zero, and exactly how to apply them. Remember, worm castings are one of the most complete and beneficial organic fertilizers in existence. They feed the soil, activate microorganisms, improve soil structure, stimulate root growth, and carry zero risk for your plants when used correctly. And the best part? You can make them yourself, at home, sustainably, for next to nothing, using scraps you'd otherwise throw in the trash. It's one of the best investments you can make for your garden. If this video was helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button, share it with someone who could use this info, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Your support is what makes it possible for us to keep creating content like this. And don't forget to visit our blog. You'll find articles on plant genetics, step-by-step growing guides, pest control, industry trends, and a whole lot more. All in one place, made for growers like you. The link is right there in the description. That's all from us. See you in the next one.